There's a storm inside you, not the kind born of wind or rain, but one built from chaos, noise, pressure. Everyone wants something from you, your attention, your emotions, your allegiance, your soul. But what if you stop giving it away? What if you reclaim control, not of the world, but of yourself? The ancient Stoics believed that inner power begins the moment you stop chasing what you cannot control and start mastering what you can. This is not a motivational speech. This is a map, a path to becoming unshakable in a world designed to shake you. We are about to dive into 10 life-changing chapters, which are sure to leave you questioning everything. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The War for Your Attention. The modern world is not built to serve your peace of mind. It's built to steal it. Algorithms don't care about your well-being. Advertisements don't care about your purpose. Even some relationships, sadly, don't care about your peace. In fact, your chaos is profitable. Each ping, each notification, each carefully constructed image on social media is a weapon in a quiet war, a war for your attention. And attention, as the Stoics understood, is life force. Epictetus said, "When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger." But who has time to reflect in a world that never lets you pause? The truth is, stillness is rebellion. By reclaiming your attention, by turning off the noise, you become dangerous to a system that thrives on distraction. Imagine waking up and not checking your phone. Imagine walking through the world without needing validation. Imagine being so rooted in your own mind that no one, not a stranger, not a trend, not even a crisis, can shake your inner calm. This is the beginning of Stoic power, directing your attention inward, not as an escape, but as an act of war. Chapter 2. The Power of Emotional Detachment. The Stoics didn't teach indifference. They taught discernment. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, ruled an empire while battling grief, betrayal, and relentless pressure. But he remained composed. Why? Because he knew a truth we often forget. Emotions are waves, but you are not the wave. You are the ocean. When someone insults you, they're offering you a gift, and you decide whether or not to accept it. When the world screams panic, you can whisper reason. This isn't coldness, it's courage. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Detachment doesn't mean apathy. It means you no longer allow external chaos to dictate internal peace. To practice detachment is to say, I will feel, but I will not be owned. I will hurt, but I will not be ruled. I will love, but I will not be manipulated. In a society where emotional reactivity is currency, detachment is a superpower. It makes you unmarketable to those who sell fear. It makes you immune to those who play games. And most of all, it makes you free. Chapter 3. Self-Mastery Through Discipline. If attention is your sword and detachment is your shield, then discipline is your armor. You will not find power in comfort. You will not find growth in ease. Everything you seek, confidence, clarity, resilience, sits on the other side of discipline. The Stoics practiced hardship on purpose. They slept on hard beds. They fasted. They imagined the worst-case scenario daily. Not because they were masochists, but because they understood a brutal truth. Comfort makes you soft. Adversity makes you sharp. Seneca would say, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself all the while, 'Is this the condition I feared?'" The goal is not to suffer. The goal is to train, to build spiritual muscle in a world that wants you weak. Self-mastery is not perfection, it's control. Over your thoughts, over your urges, over the small voice that whispers, "Give up." Every time you resist that voice, you grow stronger. Discipline is not just about what you do, it's about who you become. Chapter 4. Solitude is a strategy. In a world that equates being alone with being broken, the Stoics seek solitude as sanctuary, not isolation, but intentional withdrawal. Because in solitude there is no mask, no performance, no distraction. just you and truth. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself, know where you can go is more peaceful, more free of interruptions than your own soul. Solitude is not loneliness. It is the choice to be with your own mind. In solitude, we confront the parts of ourselves we hide, the guilt, the regrets, the dreams we've buried, and in that confrontation, we become whole. The Stoics knew that solitude sharpens clarity, it deepens wisdom, it builds the kind of self-trust that cannot be faked. If you can stand alone, you can stand anywhere. Chapter 5. How to become unmanipulatable. There are those who thrive on your instability, who poke your wounds, who twist your insecurities. But manipulation only works when you are disconnected from yourself. Know your values and you cannot be swayed. Know your emotions and you cannot be baited. Know your mind and you cannot be controlled. The Stoics taught that power begins in awareness. You don't need to react. You don't need to explain. You don't need to play the game. The one who controls themselves controls the room. When Marcus was betrayed, he didn't retaliate. He wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Let that sink in. The world pushes you to match its chaos, but your power is in stillness. You don't fight fire with fire. You fight fire with water. Calm, controlled, undeniably effective. Chapter 6. Love without losing yourself. The Stoics weren't emotionless. They loved deeply but wisely. They knew that real love doesn't require losing yourself. In fact, the more whole you are, the more powerful your love becomes. Epictetus said, "Never say of anything, 'I have lost it, but I have returned it.' Is your child dead? It is returned. Is your wife dead? She is returned. Has your estate been taken from you? That too has been returned." This isn't cold, it's cosmic. They believed in impermanence, that every person in your life is a temporary gift, not a possession. To love like a Stoic is to hold with open hands, to appreciate deeply but not cling. This protects you. It allows love to grow freely, and if it fades, you remain intact. Love should elevate, not imprison, and the highest love is rooted in freedom. Chapter 7. How to rule your inner kingdom. There is a throne inside you, and every day something tries to sit on it. Fear, greed, lust, ego. But the Stoic knows, only the self should rule the self. You are the sovereign of your mind, and sovereignty means self-rule. You cannot control the world, you cannot control others, but you can and must control yourself. Marcus Aurelius governed an empire, but his greatest achievement wasn't political, it was personal. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is not philosophy, this is revolution. When you take back your inner throne, you stop blaming, you stop begging, you start building. Chapter 8. The Stoic Morning. Every morning is a battlefield. Before the world touches you, you must touch yourself, your center, your purpose, your peace. The Stoics began their day with reflection. Marcus wrote in his journal every morning. Seneca practiced gratitude. Epictetus recited what he stood for. What if your morning routine wasn't just hygiene and caffeine, but preparation for war? Ask yourself, what can I control today? What am I grateful for? What virtue will I practice no matter what happens? The Stoic morning is not for motivation. It's for alignment, with reason, with values, with self. The rest of the day may be chaos, but you're rooted. Chapter 9. Death is a motivator. Memento mori. Remember you must die. This isn't morbid, it's liberating. Death is the great clarifier. It strips away vanity. It destroys excuses. It reminds you your time is limited. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." When you accept death, you stop fearing life. You stop chasing empty validation. You stop delaying your dreams. You stop tolerating mediocrity. You act. You live. You choose. Memento mori is not about fear. It's about fire. Let it burn away what doesn't matter. Chapter 10, The Unbreakable Life. So how do you become unbreakable? You stop outsourcing your power. You stop seeking permission. You start returning to yourself. You reclaim your attention. You detach from chaos. You master your emotions. You walk alone when needed. You love without clinging. You stand tall without noise. This is the Stoic path. Not easy, but real. Not loud, but deep. Not for everyone, but perfect for those who are done being manipulated, done being owned, done being at war with themselves. You want power? Then seek peace. You want freedom? Then master discipline. You want love? Then love yourself without condition. The Stoics didn't promise comfort. They offered truth. And in truth, you will find yourself. The world will continue spinning, louder, faster, more demanding. But you will walk through it untouched. Because you no longer react. You respond. You no longer chase. You choose. This is your life. Reclaim it. And remember, the obstacle is the way. The enemy is the teacher, and you are the master. If you found value in this, consider sharing it with someone who could benefit. And don't forget, a simple like goes a long way in spreading Stoic wisdom. For more insights on philosophy, personal growth, and the art of clear thinking, subscribe and turn on notifications. Stay strong, stay mindful, and above all, stay stoic. See you in the next video.